Some of those that work forces, you're the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces, you're the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces, you're the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces, you're the same that burn crosses. Killing in the name of. Killing in the name of. Now you do what they told ya. 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 Don't you die, justified. Wearing the badge, they can hurt your wife. Don't let die, justified.
Ow! We're gonna slowly take the microphone over here and hope that it doesn't mess up. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, party people. What's up, friends? Good to see you. Just come off a great live stream with Robert Wallace. Hey, my friends, I see you. What's up, guys? Been a while. All right. I say that a lot, don't I? I'm like, all right. I guess that's just a buffer. What's up, guys? So I'm partying tonight. Just get that out of the way now. Right now. I'll get that out of the way. D, you sold me out. That's all right. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. You don't look like you've had 14 beers. Well, tell that to the cop. I have nothing on the books for tomorrow, so I'm up, I'm late, I'm partying. Yeah. Isn't that funny? You, like, self-critique yourself, Amy. Amy the mod. Joe Mama. Hey, Joe Mama. What's up? What do you mean, Joe Mama, you check in tomorrow? What are you talking about? You're going to stay up for this. Whatever this is. You're here for it. I guess we could do a small Bill Mish recap of what's been going on the last couple weeks. It's been crazy, right? Things have been crazy. Robert Wallace, my brother. It's been crazy. The last 2 weeks have been nuts. As a truther in the truther community. Oh, by the way, I got suspended by Twitter. Don't know why, but I did. And that's okay. I hear most people, consider that a badge of honor. The bitches, they won't tell you what you got suspended for. And I retweet a lot of things. I seldom tweet. Seldom. What's up, Headless Horseman? Headless in the house. You guys are all in the house. You guys are in my house. So welcome to my home. Home of the lovely drapes. There's the drapes. Some of you enjoy those drapes. I guess I like them too. What do you think, Headless? You liking what you're seeing on the mainstream television? Are you liking what you're seeing? These people are losing their damn minds. I love it. Love it. Love it. It's all coming together, you guys. It's all coming to fruition. That was a tough word for me to get out. My state of mind. Fruition. It's coming into fruition. Everything that we've been told is coming true. Is it not? Is it not coming true? Can you debate it? Can you debunk it? Is it not coming true? It is coming true. You know it. It's rhetorical. It's a rhetorical question. It's coming true. The Q drops are coming true. Even though we've known that we're going along the lines of truth and that there's been many things that have been put into our path that show us that it's happening. That's good. Yeah, Amy, it's happening. It's happening. Well put. It's happening. Damn it. This thing keeps popping notifications and I don't know how to make it stop. Bastards. All right. So it's happening. It's been like a slow train wreck in the process. We've been watching this. It's a slow train wreck, but it's a train wreck for the good. You know, when you became awake, when you got on board, when you started listening to the Q drops, when you started tuning into these channels that are truth movement channels that are breaking down the Q, when you've been watching it and grasping onto it and you've been learning about it, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I'm wired. I should say I was wired to go, come on, let's go. When we doing it? When we doing it? Not vocally, not crazy, not it's going too slow, but it is happening. And it is like watching a slow motion train wreck for the Democrats. And I have thoroughly enjoyed what's been going on. I don't know, you know, when it will all ultimately end, when it will go down. But these people that are such complete douchebags, there's the 14 beers. Sorry, D. Those are starting to come out. But when it happened, wow. As it's been happening, you just recognize it. You see it. You're listening. You're seeing it on mainstream television. You're seeing how they're starting to filter it into middle America or America in general. These people are starting to really wake up. And yeah, can I just say something very selfish from like a truther standpoint of being very selfish? The amount of information that I have inside of me about what I know from the Q drops and from all of my research of going into the truth community. Do you know what's a little bit of a bummer is that I kind of wished it would be a little bit bigger of an issue, but it seems like they have put this plan together so well that they're painting themselves into a corner every day now. They're turning on each other every day now. And even though I'm fully behind it, and it's probably the best case scenario for the truth movement and how the truth is coming out there, is that I'm a little bummed. I know I've said in the past, don't spike the football. Don't tell them this. And I don't want to spike the football. I don't. But I'm not sure. Oh, how do I say this without sounding like a dick? I'm not sure that us in the truth community are going to get the proper respect for being awake early, because this plan is so masterful. They're leaking it out in the mainstream television. You're starting to have these people turn on each other. This is going to be a very, very nice handoff into the next phase of this plan. And I guess that's the way it needs to be. And I'm glad it is. I'm glad so far that things aren't going terrible. I'm not, I guess. I'm very glad that things aren't going terrible. But this feels like a very smooth transition. And when you've been carrying it around inside of you, knowing for so long now, because future has proven past, because we know what we know, is it going to be a little bit anticlimactic? I don't know. Maybe. That's a good thing if it is. It's a very good thing if it's anticlimactic. But I don't know. You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like it's a very silent velvet type hammer that's hitting America, and that's okay. You know what's going to be funny, you guys? In 6 months from now, when people that you tried to wake up and tell them about all the Q proofs and all this, or anything that you've tried to disclose to them with that's the truth, it's going to be funny when they turn around and look at you and say, do you know what I heard? And then they start putting things inside of you that you've known for a year and a half, and you're going to have to look at them and go, that's interesting. That's crazy. I'm so happy that you understand. I don't know. That's not ego. That's not ego, right? There has to be a payoff for being awake. Is the payoff that we got to help wake up people and bring them into the truth community? Maybe that might be the case. And that's perfectly acceptable. I can deal with that. I can deal with that. But it's unbelievable how smooth this plan has gone. Because literally, at least in the United States, there has not been, I don't know. It feels like this is a very, very smooth transition to the truth for a lot of people. And they really are waking up. It's masterful. What's happening with you guys? I'm going to read your comments for a second. Let's see. Yeah. Yes. So true. And considering the depths of the corruption, it's going pretty well. I agree. It's a best case scenario. It really is a best case scenario. I like that too. The friendships that we've made, the times that we've got to be there for one another when nobody else was. Yeah, that's true. It's a small group relative to the world. It's a small group, but it's funny because we have brothers and sisters in other countries that fully understand how awake we are. They're just awake in their own way. Like France, we know what's going on with France with the Yellow Vest uprising. We see what's going on with Theresa May in the UK. She's on her way out, you guys, in June. Maybe it's July. I think it's June. She's on her way out. The Brexit party, which is an actual party, is headed up by Nigel Farage, who was a big deal when the Brexit was first being voted on. In fact, if you remember, Brexit was voted on a matter of months before President Trump was elected into office. Legally, I might add, without the help of Russia, without the help of China, no collusion, no obstruction, none. But he is resurfacing. His name is resurfacing. And he is the head of the Brexit party, which is a great name for a party that wants to exit the EU, the European Union. As some of you know, the UK wants to break away from the European Union. Now, they were always part of the European Union before, but never participated in their monetary system. So the UK has always operated under the pound, okay? Under the pound. They never went under the euro, but they were part of the European Union. And now these people want out. They want out. The people in the UK want out big time. If this was 1776, these people from the UK would actually join our side of the war. These are not the UK brethren of old. They're sick of the shit as much as we are. It's a global awakening. And it's incredible. It's incredible. So I haven't been on in like 2 weeks. That's okay. That's okay. I'm doing this for whatever. To be honest with you, I went on tonight because Robert Wallace went on. And so I just, after he was done, I just said, you know what? I'm going to go on too. Why not? I don't know. I think our role in the Great Awakening, I mean, we're fulfilling it. We are by being awake. But our days are coming where we will be the voice of reason, as strange as that sounds, to the people in our communities. You know, assuming that you don't bite your tongue when you have your opportunity. We're all going to have our opportunity to speak up. I believe multiple times over. We're going to have opportunities to let people know what this has all been about. And maybe that's the fruits of our labor. Maybe that's what it's going to take for being awake. Being awake is something that I really cherish. I do. I cherish being awake to what's going on. I appreciate understanding the scope of where we were. Before Trump was elected, I was understanding the awake part. I was understanding the scope of America. And really, it took this Great Awakening and the Q movement to make me understand how rooted it was globally. And maybe that's just it. We'll have to be a voice that gives good advice, because this is going to hit the mainstream. They're already starting to talk. If you've listened to like Joe diGenova, who is a top-notch attorney, and he starts talking about people like John Brennan, and starts talking about the fact that he actually, Joe diGenova, talks about that he actually now for the first time sees a possibility where the people in those roles will be sent to prison. I guess it depends on the mainstream television, but it's going to present an opportunity for you being awake to enlighten people, to bring them in, to understand how we got here, where we got here. I don't know how it's all going to play out for us being truthers in the future and what our role actually will be. But what I will say is that we'll be ready. We're awake. We understand. We know. We'll be ready to fill in those gaps. Maybe we're a bunch of substitute teachers for the truth. And our day is coming where everybody that thinks they know the truth calls in sick, and they got to bring in the substitute teachers, and that's us. And we come in and we say, all right, you've been learning A, B, C, D, and E, but let me tell you about X, Y, Z and why we are where we are. I don't know. It's going to be crazy, but it is happening. You're blind if you don't see that it's happening. It's happening. And I know you guys understand this. This is for the people 150 years from now that will see this video and go, how did they know it was happening? Oh, because that dude that cashed 14 beers with a hat and the same bloody hoodie that he always wears said it's happening. But you know what? Screw that. Who cares? We get to live it. We get to understand it. We are living in our simple lives. But yet we hold truth. And for those that want to know the truth, we're here. All of us, every one of you. If you're here listening to this, you're awake and you understand. And this will sound a little strange, but we have to carry that burden with a certain amount of responsibility. I'd said this videos way back. It'd be real easy to spike the football. See, I told you so. See, I said this. See, I said that. See, I. This movement isn't about I. It's about we. And it really is about we. And we will have to shelf that emotion. And maybe you guys don't feel that. Maybe you're like, I've never felt that a day in my life. Well, I have. I'm a very competitive person by nature. I've been extremely competitive my whole life. Not to the point where I'd throw anybody under the bus to get ahead, but competitive, me versus you, this versus that. Yeah, I'm competitive. But I'm competitive in a compassionate way. I want to find the truth. And maybe you guys feel the same way. I don't know. So, what else is happening? You know what? I did get a message right before I came on. Ralph Deem, our friend from Australia, said, Bill, why don't you ever talk about cryptocurrencies anymore? And he said he sent me an email and I didn't see it because unfortunately it's the same. The email address that I use has been the same email address that I've had for over 15 years. And I just don't look at it very often at all. If I know an email's coming in, I'll look for it. But I don't have a secondary or a third email address. I have the one main email address, and it's attached to everything that I've ever given an email address for the last 15 years. And so I don't scour my emails unless I know one's coming. But what I will say to you, Mr. Ralph Deem, my friend, who we love, most of us love, and those that don't know you, well, they just get a free pass. But Ralph's awesome. Ralph, hang on to your cryptocurrencies. Stay in the fight. They're catching a major bid. It's the future. I am as hot for cryptocurrencies now as I've ever been and never lost faith in them. And I'm telling you, my friend, just to continue on hanging on to your cryptocurrencies. In my opinion, it's the future. All right. So that little sidebar is out of the way. And I wanted to say that. I'm going to read your comments a second. See what's going on. You guys all talking to each other. That's nice. Yeah, Amy, that's a good idea. New email address. For now, I will give you my old email address because if I give it, maybe you guys will send me an email. It's Bill Mish, BILLMICH 123 at gmail.com. BillMish123 at gmail.com. Send me an email. And you know what? That's a good idea. I will start a new email. I just have to figure out what it's going to be. Anyway, I had a rough day. I didn't have a rough day like if I put it up against what people are going through in the world. But I guess that doesn't really matter. I had a tough day. Maybe a rough day is the wrong word. I had a tough day today. And that's okay. We have those. Everybody has those. Some worse than others. Yeah, I'll read them, D. Yes, I'll read them. Yes. D's always yelling at me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'll read those emails. I just have to know they're coming in because they're just I seriously. You guys, I have like over 35,000 emails that like I haven't read. I've had this email address, but I've replied to emails and stuff that I've used, or been sent to me. That's what I meant to say. I've replied to them when I know an email's coming. I look for it and then I reply to it. But it really would be nice to get a nice fresh start with a brand new email address. So perhaps I'll do that. That is something I will do in the very near future. My God, my lips are falling all over my tongue. You guys. I'm having a great night, even though my day was rough. How's that? Look at Headless Horseman throwing me some shade. Headless. It's too funny. And D, look at you piling on. D's piling on. You guys are a rough crowd tonight. Is this thing on? You guys are being tough on old Bill. Drop the 4, Amy. And then you got it. I think. Oh my God. I'm going to show my age for a second. Yeah, drop the 4. Thanks, D. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys. You know this. And now you know this. You know this. I was about to use the Brian Rosenberg voice. He's not around. Where are you, Brian? I want to use the voice, and Brian's not around. All right, maybe Brian will see this. And then come on the next one. Yeah, exactly, Robert Wallace. Oh, Amy, thanks. Thanks. I am humbled and I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate everybody in the truth community. I cannot believe, you guys, honestly, I cannot believe it's all really happening. I honestly cannot believe. All right. I do believe it's happening, but it's surreal. I mean, honestly, you guys, I almost dropped the F-bomb. Not gonna. It's happening. Like, this is really going down. It's really going down. Like everything that we have poured ourselves into for the last 2 years. And some of us longer. It's going down. It's really happening. I've seen people awake that I didn't know they could awake. And others that it took more time to awake. But people are honestly waking up in the most civil way. They are waking in the most civil way. Because that is what the plan called for. Now, it could have deviated in a million different ways off what they ultimately wanted, but it feels like this is really like best case scenario type stuff. And this is part 1 of the Great Awakening. This is part 1 of the storm. There's a storm, the Great Awakening. Do you guys want to know what part 2 is? Maybe you already know this. Do you guys want to honestly know what part 2 of this plan is? And I know we all have lives, and this is just my opinion, but part 2 of what's going on in the Great Awakening is not just uprooting the deep state and all of the heinous fucking, there's the F-bomb, sorry, all the heinous things that they've been doing with child trafficking and all that stuff. Part 2 is that President Trump is silently taking over our monetary system in the best possible way you can imagine. President Trump, you mark my words, is going to take down the Federal Reserve, who is in charge of our monetary system. That is part 2 of this entire plan. Why? Because all of the child trafficking, the smuggling, the sacrifices, all of the heinous shit that we have found out about is funneled from one thing, and that's money. Money may be the root of all evil. It could be. But we need it in life, and those who have it abundantly without really doing much for it, listen, there's probably a small percentage of them that are okay, but a lot of these people did really bad shit to get that money. So President Trump is going to take out the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, as many of you have heard, probably from other videos and maybe from my video from time to time, there's nothing federal as far as our government's concerned with the Federal Reserve. It's no more federal than Federal Express. It's a private entity. It's not any part of our government. The only real money that you have in your pocket is actually the change as in quarters, dimes, nickels, pennies. That is the only true currency that is put out by the US Treasury, not those dollar bills. Those dollar bills are Federal Reserve notes. So if you want to know what real money is, it's your quarters, it's your dimes, it's your nickels, it's your pennies. And there will come a day when those Federal Reserve notes go away. But those are put out by the Federal Reserve. Those are the people that are a private company like Federal Express that make money, cut the money up, and put it into circulation. That's phase 2 of this plan. It's going away, but it's a necessary thing that has to go away. It has to go away because that is another arm of the deep state that adds to their power. And it's not just in America. There's Federal Reserves all over the world, you guys. And all the Federal Reserves, like our Federal Reserve, funnel into the World Bank. Or, the national banks. And the national banks funnel into the world banks. But it doesn't matter. It all funnels out from one, or whatever, not one, but from a select group of people that control everything that happens on this planet. They loan us paper and call it money and make you pay interest back on anything you ever buy in it. It's genius. They're fucking, sorry for the F-bomb. They're geniuses. But we've been asleep. We've gone along with the system. We've been taught that that's your money. It's all BS. It's all BS, and it's all going away. President Trump couldn't just rid the people out of our Congress, out of our Senate, out of our government, quite frankly, and leave it at the United States. He couldn't do it because it would be like cutting off a finger I can't even put this into a good way. I was going to say it'd be like cutting off the finger of an amphibian and they grow back another one. But it honestly, I guess if you can wrap your mind around that stupid analogy, that's what it's like. Or it's like cutting off the tail of the muskrat and they grow another tail, or of the rat and they grow another tail. It doesn't matter. You got to take the whole thing out. And the whole thing spreads globally. It's not just here in America. These people have been very patient for a long time. They've been putting this monetary system into effect. The good news is that how good this plan is going with just getting rid of the shits that are in our government and all of this and exposing it is really going to lead to part 2 of the plan, which is to take away their monetary system. It's going away. And in a lot of ways, the reason that we are as far along as we are with this great awakening with taking down the politicians is that they've headed it off and shut the money system down to the corrupt people that were in America. That's why these things are coming to light. But this is going to come to light on a global scale. It's non-negotiable. It's not even up for debate, you guys. It's happening. And what's going to happen from here going forward until the 2020 election, in my opinion, is that we're going to continue to push up the economy. We're going to continue to put these jobs in. They have to. Trump has to, is what I'm saying. He has to put out that the economy is great, that it's doing well. Why? Because the very reasons why our economy is doing well is the system that they used in the past to show that our economy was doing well. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's always been smoke and mirrors. Trump figured out with his team what they needed to do to continue making it show that we are in a great economy. And we are in a great economy. But it's not real. The numbers that we get are not real. He's using the deep state tools that they've used against them. That's what's going on. And they can't debate it, because if they came out and said, well, those numbers aren't real, this isn't happening, they would expose themselves. And they can't do that. They'd rather continue on the Russian narrative with Trump and try to, at the end of the day, they want President Trump killed or impeached, because that is the only two things that's going to allow them to move forward with the direction that America was going in. You guys know this. Some of you, most of you probably know this. I should perhaps do a better video of it. Hey, John Barry, what's up, friend? How you doing, buddy? I should do a better video, I guess, putting this together about phase 2, maybe. But it doesn't end. It does not end with the people in America that are deep shit or deep state shits going to jail, or some of them, quite honestly, are going to die. They're going to be hung. They're going to be killed. They're going to be, they're going to go away for treason. It goes well beyond this. And when this is all said and done, we all will be scratching our heads going, wow, I just cannot believe how big this was. It's globally. They were going to take down not only America, they were going to reduce the world to being slaves. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry, but that's the cold hard facts. That's what our future held, and the world's future held. They were going to turn everybody into little slaves, and they were going to hide it under the guise of government. that you were still free. You know what? I hate to say this, but think about Hunger Games. When they were taking these pledges in Hunger Games and making them compete against each other, fast forward in America right now, about 50 to 100 years, there's Hunger Games. Everybody doesn't have shit. Nobody's got dick. Nothing. To the point that it's a game and they're going to make people put people up to go compete in these games. I mean, that in some small capacity was the future. And the point behind the Hunger Games of people having to put people from their states or their regions up to fight against each other was because there was so much power in that movie among the elites that nobody had a say anyway. Nobody had a say. And to feel better about themselves, one person would get to live if they made it through the games. And that would make them feel good. Like, oh, see, we didn't kill everybody. I mean, it may be a dumb analogy. I don't know. But I do believe that that was the future in some way, shape, or form, is that people would be so weak against their government that they would have to go along with some bullshit like that. And that's where we were heading. You guys seen it. That's where we were heading. Yeah. All right. 43 minutes. It's about 30 minutes longer than I thought I'd go. Yeah. You know, I'm going to clean up. I'll leave this on. I won't delete this video tonight. I'll leave it on. There was enough decent information in it tonight that somebody might get something out of it, but I'll kind of clean up phase 2 a little bit and get my thoughts together a little better and try to lay that out in the next day or 2 or 3. I don't know. Like I told you before, I'm not on a schedule. I do these live streams now just to do them, I guess. So, yeah. Everything good with you guys? Man, I'm sorry. I'm hammered. I'm so sorry. Having a good time, though. You know. Yeah, it did end good, D. It did. It did. So, what was I going to say? I don't remember. So there's that. All right. You guys, great catching up with you. Love you all. Every one of you. Love you all. You guys are phenomenal. And forward we go in truth, right? We go forward in truth. Don't back down from truth. When you have an ability to let your voice be heard, don't be a dick. Just be on the right side of truth. And that will carry you through many things. So thanks for coming out tonight. Unplanned, but hella fun. And if you guys send me an email, I will be looking in my emails for the next 10 minutes. So I will reply. And yeah. And then I'll get on making that new email address. So you guys stay cool. Keep your eyes on mainstream television, as much as that hurts me to say it, at least Fox in the latter part of the night from about 8 p.m. till 11 p.m. That's pretty spot on. Everything outside of that I can't vouch for, but it's happening. The Great Awakening is happening. We're about to get our country back. And we don't even know in what capacity we're going to get our country back. To what level? To what degree? We have no idea. But we know it's happening, and it is happening. All right. You guys be cool. I'll talk to you soon. Don't forget to pray. It helps. It's a good tool to have in your arsenal. And someone's listening, so be cool. Pray. Pray for each other. I pray for most of you guys every night. Be cool. See ya.